Welcome back to Itsnotjunktv. I'm Jarvis, and today we're back on the tailgate. It's been a few days. Had some other things come up. I ended up putting ball joints on the truck that this tailgate is for. But I have been coming out, tapping on it a little bit each evening. Have slowly kind of worked it back into place. Sorry about every lawn equipment, piece of equipment in the neighborhood running at once, but that's just what we get here. But let me show you where I'm at now. All right, as you can see, other than the big gnarly holes from pullers and winches and everything, I've got her pretty close. So I think now I'm at the stage. I'm gonna hit this with a wore out flapper wheel, get all this cracked up paint moved around, see if I can't smooth this up a little bit. This area too. I'm still, as you can see, in the process of trying to get that pulled back up. I have opened that gash a little wider. And I imagine when I fold this lip back up that there's going to be some trimming to do before I tack it back together. But we'll get to that in a second. I think I'm gonna hit this with a flapper wheel, and then we come back, we'll see what we're looking like. All right, here we are. I went ahead and hit this with my flapper wheel. You can see, it didn't do too bad. I got it close enough. Like I said, none of this on this flat is going to be able to be seen. The only real section that's going to be visible is kind of right in this area here. It's pumped in just a little bit, which I think I'm okay with. So when I go back to skim, that'll keep things from getting too high. So I think now I've been working on getting this access seam that I cut kind of bit back into shape. There's a crease that's long gone right through here. Kinda. So I was able to get this one kind of reestablished by taking this and tapping over it. So it's sort of coming back. I gotta get down in there. Get this to pop back out this way, hopefully. Take a pry bar without crushing this other side back down. Well, bit my big hand out of the way without crushing this other side back down. So I'm gonna keep wrap tapping when we get to smoothing. We'll probably do that. I doubt you want to hear me beating around on this. That ain't very fun. So let's see what our next move looks like. Well, all right, here we are. A little progress report. Trying to get this crease right here worked out. I've sort of got it coming back in there. I need to work this down some more and get this. See how this is bubbled? You got this. This is kind of your line right here. I've kind of got to take this piece of aluminum straight edge and try to connect the dots. So this high spot, this needs to be concave down a little bit, and then I think I can start taking this over. If I can get this down here, well, this right here to lay down there, and then I can start folding this over, and then I'll fold this back over. I did have this all back down, but I've had to open it back up a little bit in order to start working this wrinkle out. But I'm gonna keep pounding on. little trick so I don't crush this lip no more. Got this 4x4, this, and then as I pry, I gotta put pressure down on here, of course. I should have it ratchet strapped down like I did before, but so I can move around a little faster, and that way I've kind of brought this back up closer to where it needs to be. But that's just a prying point. Just a couple things stacked up. Just something to think about if you're trying to save something that probably shouldn't have been saved. So hold tight, let me keep on going. Yeah, shit. I've been out here beating around on this thing now for about an hour, and it sounds like everybody in the neighborhood has found my hammering project. There's hammers going off all over this place. I love it. I think it's awesome. Anyway, here's my progress. I've kind of got this valley reestablished. Let's see if I can get you down here. Now, that ain't perfect. And if your eyeball's all perfect, then well, there's not much I can do about imperfections. And that crease, I might be able to reestablish that. Let me see. I think that's what I'm gonna work on next. See this crease? Let's start there. I'm gonna lay that in with a pin mark and see if I can't sort of get that reestablished. I think if I do that here where I've already started, this is where this kind of starts in. I've already started kind of bringing that over, but let me continue on and see if we can get some more people in my neighborhood here smacking around on some stuff today too. Hold tight. All right, now we're a little bit further along. I wanted to pop in before and show you a little bit of the progress, but I'm kind of getting to the point where I just want this done. All right, well, here we are. We've got her pretty darn close. Being right here is where it was crunched down to. You can still see the line there. So that was completely down here. The wrinkle there I just could not get out, so you can see between here and here is this low spot. So I'm gonna take some of this filler. I'm not going to use Bondo. I don't see no point. I've kind of touched in some of the holes. On this back side, it's ugly. Ugly. Got that as close. Got them wrinkles out as close. Got this curve back in here as close as I could. I'm just gonna kind of body. It's lower than what it needs to be, so I'm gonna use a little of this filler putty. Just kind of, again, like I say, I was just trying to save this thing so I didn't have to try to hunt down another one that wasn't rotted out. Like I was telling you, the bottom of this one is perfect. See what you can see in there. The drain holes, there's a little bit of bubbling, but I'm gonna take a wire wheel to that because I'm gonna end up having to paint this whole thing. I've scratched the crap out of it, even with this cardboard. It wasn't like that before, so I'm probably gonna tape them off and end up painting this whole thing. But first, I think we're gonna skim a little filler on this, and I'll show you my first coat, and then we'll have to let her dry for a while. Well, another day has passed for me, but for you guys, just another second. All right, so last night before I called it a day, I threw a coat on here, and then I come out this morning, gave it a quick rasp down and a quick paint, and a quick sand, and I've added a couple more little spots here. I'm gonna let that dry and then hit it again. I think we're gonna get this wrapped up today. Hunted down my insert for in there. I'm sure that's gonna have to be, looks like it's kind of twisted, and I kind of twisted it trying to get my arm in there to hold a dolly. So, but I think what I'm gonna do next is, unfortunately, I want to save this for now. I don't think I've got a Cricut, you know, one of the vinyl plotter cutter things, but I don't think I can get them. These are elongated. These aren't normal letters. I can get them, but I don't think I can get anything like this. I'm gonna dig it out, and just in case, because honestly, what I'd like to do is have the red Dodge, a double red pinstripe on both sides of it, and maybe even going all the way across, because this is going to end up being like a matte type of black is what I eventually want to paint it. But I want to get this part, but I guess for now I'm going to try to save that, maybe. I don't know. So I guess I'm going to tape it off, and then we'll go from there. Alright, here's after a couple more coats. It's getting better. There's a little bit right in here. I don't like how it dips in. I think I can feather that out still a little bit. I took this out, a couple other little spots. But yeah, we continue on. I was going to try to get this done and get down to a primer coat today, but I think it's just a tad too windy, so I think we're going to have to wait till tomorrow. Alright. It's been a few days. I've been still tinkering around with this. I've got it. You can still see where it was at, but I think once I get this cover on here, I've got to hit this again with some of this etching primer, I think. We've got an inchworm. Where's he at? Okay. But it's progress. Alright. Clip 6,743 million. Well, as you can see, we're a little bit further along. I went ahead and painted it, I think it's an ultra matte is what it's called. That's what it's going to end up being when I'm all said and done. But then when I laid this down, there was some places I seen that were just glaring. So I went ahead and touched it up yet again. So, but there's that spot. You can still see it a little bit, especially on the top. Like I've said, I'm not overly concerned about that. But just a couple spots I've seen. But we'll keep on with that. I'm gonna hit it a couple more times, and then when we come back, I think I'm just gonna show you the finished item. So hang tight. Be just a second for you. Alright guys, here we are. It's the final day. It's been several days since I last filmed, but I've been working on this thing. Got a coat of paint on it. Ended up going with an ultra matte. Kind of helps hide everything. It's just a starting point. I'll eventually get the whole truck in it. But if you've stuck around this long and you've watched all these little clips kind of strung together, I do appreciate you stopping by. I do appreciate you coming back and checking out each video. If you've not hit like and subscribe, be sure to do that. That helps me out. Give me a thumbs up. Also lets me know that you like what I'm doing. If you got any questions about anything, just drop them in the comments down below. But I do appreciate you guys coming by, and I think it's time for the reveal. It turned out pretty good. Not quite as good as I'd have hoped, but it's good enough, I think. Gonna come out here. I've already put it back on the truck, and bam, there it is. Remember, right in here was a big U-shaped dent. The middle was missing. This top's still a little flexed, but I think it'll lay down as time goes on. And of course I mask all of them off just so I could keep the originals. But that's it. That's what you can do. I ended up saving it, and that's what I wanted to do. I didn't want to have to buy a new one or hunt down one that wasn't rusty. But that's good enough in my book. It's a working tailgate. But that's it. That's what you can do with probably less than $50 and 5-6 hours of time invested in it. So, but better than finding a new one or paying for a new one. But I appreciate you guys coming by. My name's Jarvis. This is Itsnotjunktv. Until the next one, take care.